Howdy, friend. Sam Houston here, hoping you're living in high cotton. And if you're lucky enough to be in Texas, I know you're most of the way there. Now enjoy your daily dose of Texas history and Texas pride.
Howdy, friend. Welcome back to the Feed Bandit podcast and your Texas History Roundup for November 4th. In 1835, the third consultation convened at San Felipe de Austin. It should have had 7 delegates from each of the Texas municipalities, but only 58 of the 98 delegates attended due to travel distances and military operations. None came from Bexar, Goliad, Refugio, Victoria, or San Patricio. The purpose of the new consultation was to frame a declaration of Texas's intentions towards Mexico. The consensus at the time being to demand separate statehood. The declaration that was drafted 3 days later stated that Texans had armed to defend their rights and liberties, which were threatened by the encroachment of military despots. The consultation endorsed establishing a provisional government based on the Constitution of 1824, approved an interim structure called the Organic Law, unanimously appointed Sam Houston as commander-in-chief with orders to raise an army, and appointed Henry Smith as governor and James W. Robinson as lieutenant governor. The delegates adjourned on November 14th. 1824. We have a shirt and a pretty cool little camp polo that shows 1824 flag along with the Alamo. Check it out. 1835. The Battle of Lepantitlan occurred on the east bank of the Nueces River across from Fort Lepantitlan near San Patricio. A force of about 70 Texans under Adjutant Ira Westover routed a Mexican force of about 90 men, with one-third of the Mexican force being killed. Although the fort was taken, it was soon abandoned, but not before dumping 2 of its cannons in the Nueces River. In 1899, artist Elizabeth K. Boatwright was born in Houston. She studied at the Art Institute of Chicago and the Art Students League in New York, then joined the faculty of Sul Ross State College, which is now university, in Alpine. Being interested in Indian culture, she was the first white woman allowed to sketch in the pueblos of New Mexico. She became known as the Etcher of Indians. Among her notable etchings were the Sand Painter, her Navajo, Black Eagle Dance, Pueblo, and in 1934, the U.S. Museum of Graphic Arts hosted a solo show of her etchings. Later in life, Boatwright moved to Corpus Christi and began painting seascapes. She died in Corpus Christi in 1989. And if you are hearing that, that was my daughter screaming outside. In 1902, Proposition 1 on the statewide ballot, which called for a poll tax to be paid prior to voting in any state election, was approved by 2/3 of the voters. It was subsequently made law by the legislature. The tax was small, $1 to $2, but at the time was a hardship for many. The claimed purpose of the law was to minimize voter fraud, but it adversely affected poorer segments of the population, including blacks and Hispanics, and was likely intended to do so. In 1906, Gussie Nell Davis, founder of the Kilgore Rangerettes, was born in Farmersville. In 1939, she was hired by Kilgore College President B.E. Masters to find a way to keep people in their seats at halftime. The Rangerettes made their debut on September 12, 1940, and thereafter performed nationwide at numerous important events, including President Dwight D. Eisenhower's inauguration, and appeared on almost every national magazine cover during the 1950s. Davis retired as Rangerettes director in 1974 and passed away in 1993. In 1924, Miriam A. Ma Ferguson was elected governor of Texas, the first female governor of Texas and the second female governor in the United States, with Nellie T. Ross being inaugurated governor of Nevada just 2 weeks earlier. And in 1975, Texas voters defeated 8 amendments to the 1876 Constitution. In 1974, the Constitutional Convention closed after failing to produce a document to submit to the voters. The legislature approved a modified constitution with 8 amendments, but the citizens said no. And that, my friend, was your Texas History Roundup for November 4th. I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you back here tomorrow. All right, you take care.
Well, there you have it. If you like our podcast, check us out at feedbandit.com. There you'll find awesome Texas First outdoors gear and apparel. Your purchase helps support the Bandits and keeps this podcast on the air, fighting for you and for Texas. Remember, preserve the tradition, protect the legacy. Until next time.